The room was electric before the first word was spoken. Cameras rolled, lights glared, and the packed auditorium buzzed with anticipation. Everyone knew this wasn't going to be an ordinary debate, it was going to be a clash of speed and soul, intellect and intuition. Ben Shapiro, the fast-talking, sharp-edged conservative commentator, was sitting across from Senator John Kennedy, the Louisiana lawmaker known for his southern drawl, plain-spoken wisdom, and uncanny ability to turn simplicity into power. The moderators barely finished the introductions before Ben leaned forward, his voice cutting like a blade. "Senator Kennedy," he began, "your positions on the economy, education, and freedom sound appealing, but they often lack specifics. Can you explain, in measurable terms, how your philosophy actually works in practice?" The audience leaned in. Kennedy smiled, that calm, unhurried smile of a man who'd seen too many storms to be rattled by thunder. "Well, Ben," he said softly, "I'll do my best, though I suspect you'll talk faster than I can think." Laughter rippled through the crowd, but Ben wasn't there for jokes. He came loaded with data, charts, and rapid-fire logic. He spoke in bursts, statistics, percentages, philosophical zingers. Every time Kennedy tried to respond, Ben jumped in with another point, a counterpoint, a hypothetical, or a question buried inside another question. It was like watching a machine gun against a steady drum. But Kennedy didn't flinch. He just listened, nodding slightly, hands folded, waiting for the storm to pass. When Shapiro finally paused to breathe, Kennedy spoke slowly, deliberately, his voice low and calm. "Ben," he said, "you've got a lot of facts, and I respect that. But facts are like bricks. They don't build much unless you know what kind of house you're trying to make." The room went still. Ben blinked, momentarily thrown off. "That's a nice metaphor, Senator, but..." Kennedy raised a hand gently. "Let me finish, son." The tone wasn't condescending, it was fatherly. The audience quieted. Kennedy continued, "You see, folks are tired of politicians throwing facts at them like confetti at a parade. They want someone who remembers what it feels like to struggle, to fail, to get back up. You can win an argument and still lose a heart. The goal isn't just to sound smart, it's to make sense." A murmur swept through the hall. Even Ben, usually composed, looked thoughtful. Kennedy leaned back slightly, his words now slow and steady, each one landing with the weight of lived truth. "I once met a farmer in my state, Ben. Worked his land 50 years. Didn't know the inflation rate or GDP growth, but he knew what it meant when eggs went from $2 to $5. He didn't want a spreadsheet. He wanted a leader who cared enough to listen." Ben interjected, "But Senator, empathy doesn't solve problems, policy does." Kennedy nodded. "You're right. But policy without empathy creates problems that no matter